Salutations, mini mathematicians. Let's go over 5.1c, those last couple of slides that you just worked on with your groups. Notice this is a power of a quotient. Exponent belongs to the 5 and x to the 4th. So 5 squared, that's right, 25. X to the 4th being squared, power to a power. Multiply those exponents, we have x to the 8th. Really nice job. Moving on to slide 29. Don't forget, sometimes you can simplify inside the parentheses first before you apply that exponent. So I'm going to say 2 squared is 4. X cubed over x. One factor of x will cancel out, and I'll be left with x squared in my numerator. And then I still have that y squared in my numerator, all being squared. That exponent needs to be applied to each factor. 4 squared, 16, x squared, raised to the 2nd, power to a power. You multiply the exponents, x to the 4th, and again, power to a power, y to the 4th. Final answer. Slide 30 was just a quick slide thinking about working smart, not hard, and simplifying first inside the parentheses, just like on slide 29. Taking a look at slide 31, again, I'm going to simplify inside first. Here is a product of powers, so I'm going to add my exponents here, and I'll have a to the 6th over a to the 8th, all raised to the 5th power. Now I have a quotient of powers I'm going to be dealing with, so I'm going to think about where are my leftovers going to be, my factors that are left over after they cancel out. 6 factors of a will cancel out, and I'll be left with 2 factors of a in my denominator. When I apply the 5th power to my numerator and denominator using quotient of powers, I have 1 over a, power to a power, multiply to the 10th. Awesome. Slide 32, taking a look here. Again, I'm going to simplify on the inside first to make my life slightly easier. I'm going to use the commutative property of multiplication, move around my common factors. 3 times 2 times a to the 5th times a to the 4th, all over 4 times a to the 10th, all to the 5th power. When I'm looking at this, I'm going to continue simplifying. I'm going to say 3 times 2, well, that's 6. A to the 5th times a to the 4th, it's a product of powers, so I'm going to add my exponents. I'll have a total of 9 factors of a in my numerator, 4a to the 10th in my denominator. Again, I'm going to show these steps. If I do too many at once, I might get lost and make a really silly mistake. 6 over 4. What goes into 6 and into 4? Well, they're both even, so this becomes 3 in the numerator and 2 in the denominator. This is a quotient of powers, so notice I have one more factor of a in my denominator, so I have a, or a to the 1st in the denominator, and it's all to the 5th power. Wonderful. So from here, I need to figure out 3 to the 5th. 3 to the 5th, 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, 243. 2 to the 5th, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 32. And a to the 5th. And make sure it's very clear that this 32a to the 5th is in the denominator if you are writing this in your notebook or on an assessment in the future. Last 2 slides that we need to look at, slide 33. There's no simplifying I can do here, so I have x squared to the nth power over 4n to the nth power. And this is where you have to be very careful. Power to a power, we multiply. That's what these parentheses means. You're multiplying the numbers on either side. X to the 2n. 2 times n is 2n. However, n times n is not 2n. This becomes 4n squared. So you're going to need to use the Shift 6 exponent button and make sure that Desmos looks like that answer. On slide 34, I have 5n as an exponent. I can do some simplifying here. One factor of a will cancel out. I'll have a squared, b squared raised to the 5n power. That exponent needs to be applied to each factor on the inside. Power to a power. Multiply. 2 times 5n is 10n. a to the 10n, b raised to the 10n power. And that's 5.1c. Let's get started on 5.1d. 2 more power rules. Power to ya. See you soon.